At one point, Henry Winkler became irate when questioned at drugging Tom Hanks for the majority of Hollywood. Although Hanks is a well-liked celebrity, for this actor it was an absolute pain to work with him. Beneath the handshakes and grins was a seething animosity that persisted for years now. The real reason why Henry Winkler detested Tom Hanks to the core come to light at last. Hollywood is full of tensions behind the scenes, but few rivalries are both professional and donned. A personal pain similar to the one in Tom Hanks and Henry Winkler. Although both men are well-liked performers independently, the sources of it stems from a very particular moment in the history of film, one that had an impact that lasted on Winkler. The issue started in 1989 with Turner and the comedy's production The Movie Hooch, which combined Tom Hanks' moral fiber, a careful police detective with a boisterous dog sidekick to investigate a homicide. Although the idea may appear humorous, the film's production was anything but. In the beginning, Henry Winkler had been engaged as the film's director, and chance that might have been a substantial advancement in his developing filmmaking career. Winkler is well known for his recognizable Happy Days character Fonzie, had been trying to change course and become a director, and Hooch and Turner were part of a prominent opportunity to make a name for himself in the lens. But tension soon developed between Hanks and Winkler, according to the set's accounts. The two just did not get along. As the specifics of their dispute stay somewhat hazy, it is evident that even at this point in his career, Tom Hanks' career had a great deal of effect in Hollywood. According to reports, he utilized that impact to have Winkler taken out of the undertaking, resulting in Winkler's director Roger took his place. Potterswood intervened, directing to finish the film. For Winkler, this was a serious setback. Even if Turner and Hooch ultimately turned into a mediocrely successful movie, it wasn't Hanks's breakthrough smash. It was not at all like the kind of movie victory that could have strengthened Winkler's aspirations as a director. Losing the project, particularly under situations involving a well-known actor such as Hanks, left a lasting impression of annoyance and bitterness. For Winkler, it was not merely a professional letdown, it was an incident that represented the erratic nature of Hollywood power dynamics remarkably. This conflict was not the Winkler and Hanks initial encounter clashed, although in somewhat different ways. Background: 7 years before Hooch and Turner, the two actors were on the same screen. During a particularly noteworthy Hank appeared as a guest star in the 1982 A Little Case of Revenge, an episode wherein Fonzie and his character, Winkler's well-known character, faced off in a duel in karate. The battle scene, meant to be humorous, had the two actors are actually battling to demonstrate who was in charge. As it appears on screen, there was tension throughout the plot. In the background, hinted at the conflict in the workplace that would eventually intensify on a bigger scale. What makes this feud so noteworthy is the relationship between celebrity power and paths for careers. Despite being well known, Winkler Happy Days helped him discover who he was. Neglected a project that might have outlined his directing career. Regards in the meantime, was moving up to the type of superstar status, which enabled him to exert control over the casting and guiding choices. The event ignites the unpleasant reality of Hollywood. Even well-known celebrities are vulnerable when influential people interfere with their projects. Above their years, Winkler has some amazement in the event, implying a persistent annoyance, although he hasn't openly made a continuous conflict with Hanks. The reality that the dismissal is still a source of conflict demonstrates the depth to which it impacted him. It acts as a prompt that conflicts in Hollywood frequently occur not from small-minded personal distaste, but from genuine career-launching moments, times when opportunity, authority, and ego clash. Along with Tom Hanks and Henry Winkler, is reported to have disagreements with Ricky Gervais. The conflict between Gervais and Hanks emerged quite instantly through their actions. Renowned for his sly and disrespectful manner, Gervais attacked the entertainment sector with teasing remarks, making fun of directors, performers, and the arrogance that comes with receiving an award season. A large portion of the audience accepted his bubs, but with ease, or even chuckled with him. Hanks was apparently not very amused. The renowned actor, renowned for his friendly on-screen persona, appeared uneasy about Gervais's pointed humor, considering it excessively acerbic, too intimate, or maybe just inappropriate for the event. The chance for Hanks' toothy response was received earlier than anticipated. When he and his toy appeared on stage together, Tim Allen, who co-starred in the story, gave a mild but clearly critical comment specifically directed at the British comedian. Before a worldwide audience, Hanks remarked that Jerry wasn't quite as kind or as plump as he once was. A statement has many ramifications. At first glance, it was a light-hearted observation regarding Gervais's weight recent loss and possibly a reference to his changing persona on stage. But below there was a deeper jab in humor. Hanks' ways expressing his displeasure with the host's progressively aggressive strategy, basically casting doubt on Gervais' humorous decisions and his manner in public. Always the ultimate professional. Jerry, very witty entertainer, hardly skipped a beat. He answered with nothing but a faint roll of high sighs before plunging back into his monologue that keeps making fun of characteristics of Hollywood set. That one motion or nearly undetectable recognition of Hank's remark was representative of Gur's fashion, invincible, witty, and without apology. The scene established the mood for a subdue to persistent hostility between the two men thought would subtly reverberate across the next ceremony for awards. In fact, Jerry later hosted the Golden After 2011 Globes 3 more times, every on-air appearance characterized by his growing bold humor and a readiness to make fun of the biggest names in the industry in these subsequent performances. Cameras occasionally Hanks was caught in audience. His facial expression frequently combines pain and tactful self-control, a mute evidence of the discomfort that Jervis's humor may be provocative. Although Hanks never made the situation more public, Feud after that first remark, the dynamic turned into a recurrent near undertone in the ceremonious larger story, the recurring conflict between the disrespectful instigator and the Hollywood icon that has long been appreciated. The conflict between Hanks and Jervis reveals an intriguing tension inside the realm of award shows and celebrities. The fine line that separates satire, Jervis and other hosts flourish on pushing limits and drawing attention to hypocrisy of the industry, and reminding the audience that is not shielded by fame anybody from critique. In the meanwhile, actors such as Hanks, praised for their and a usually positive attitude manner are frequently taken by surprise when comedy comes too close to who's. The Golden Globes 68th edition served as the test site for this conflict between sensibilities, a moment in public where star power, vanity, and wit came together in a manner that made a lasting impression on both professions. Another well-known person who is said to have a great distaste for Hanks's toy story is his only role. Co-star Tim Allen. The conflict between these two actors seemed to have their origins in the dynamics of the well-known animated franchise that both of them starred in. Woody the Nest Cowboy is voiced by Hanks while Buzz Lightyear, the flamboyant, is voiced by Alan. Ranger in space. At first glance, their character competition is a key storytelling technique. The well-known tale of the replacement of Woody in the affections of Andy, their owner, by a brand new toy. However, it appears that behind the scenes, the tale unfolded in a more intricate individual methods. From the first toy in the 1995 story movie, Woody was perceived as the most popular toy among the audience, representing devotion, compassion, and the traditional charm of America that reflected Hanks's character. In real life, Buzz in comparison, Lightyear was ostentatious, sometimes unaware, and intended to symbolize a more recent contemporary type of hero. Buzz was crucial to the fiction. The plot always appeared to swing in Woody's favor, both in terms of audience and character development throughout the duration of the franchise. This disparity alone grew more intense. Every further installment kept focusing on Woody's emotions and struggle, frequently putting Buzz in a secondary position that served primarily to support Woody's journey rather than excel in his independent. When Toy Story 4 comes along, reached Buzz's plot had been reduced to a minor storyline point. Although Woody's persona took center stage in the movie story, the focus on Woody and both Beth on screen and in advertising campaigns seems to have encouraged animosity from Tim Allen, who, in spite of his family as a home television personality and personality improvement, he continuously described his repressed by Hanks's greater visibility and praise from critics. The contrast between Hanks standing a son actor lead winning, much appreciated Dallen's history as a sitcom star and actor star simply made everything more tense. Reports state that the situation grew so tense that Allen would not recording lines in Hanks's room, requiring that the two actors be scheduled in different days to prevent direct communication. This practical solution shows how intense the strain. But the story doesn't stop there. Timothy Allen's next Lightyear movie is a long-awaited possibility to leave Woody's shadow and take back the stage for Buzz Lightyear. In contrast to the insibling-driven relationships in the Toy Story movies, Light is solely concerned with Space. Ranger, giving Allen the opportunity to oversee a projected focuses on the valor of his character, moral quandaries, and an emotional journey. Observers in the industry have observed that this is, in many respects, Allen's time to revitalize his legacy, demonstrating that even though it's possible that Woody ruled the franchise, Buzz finally has his own after years OFA platform to shine on. Apart from Tim Allen, another well-known someone who is often cited in Donald Trump is in this sense, whose connection to Hollywood is infamously intricate. Long before his Trump's ascent to the president was a well-known personality in entertainment circles, renowned for his property empire as well as for sporadic TV, but his arrival in the 2015's political landscape swiftly fractured divisions in Hollywood, contrasting vocal liberals with those who shared his populist views. Conservative discourse among those who expressed doubt or outright mockery was played by Tom Hanks. When Trump was running for office, Hanks didn't hold back. During interviews regarding remarks made in public, he said disbellified at the idea of Trump painting the presidency, explaining the notion as absurd and emphasizing striking difference between Trump's strategy and the principles Hanks public. It was said that although not specifically aimed at Trump was representative of the wider rejection Trump was criticized by many in the entertainment sector regarding a figure such as Trump. whose conceit and tendency to critiques are widely known, including it was doubtful that statements would avert. Trump did not reply but at the time to Hanks's public marks. His well-known propensity to collect imagined or actual slights implies that he probably had a sobering opinion of Hanks long before the world was rocked by the election results. The final election of Trump in 2016, which exceeded the general expectations of Hollywood executives and political commentators, just with more layers of intricacy to this dynamic, for a lot of celebrity issue had publicly denounced him. Their darkest worries were confirmed by the presidency. Regarding his ascent, regarding Trump personally, but the triumph acted as a personal validation and strengthened high opinion of opposition leaders, encompassing outspoken critics such as Hanks, as representative of the organization, and elites in culture who have undervalued. Considering Trump's extensive tendency to harbor resentment, it is logical to assume that Hanks's comments made an impression that lasted, helping to a tense or even antagonistic impression from Trump's perspective. The convergence of Hollywood-style political affiliation has consistently been a delicate dancing. Performers like as Alan traverse the sector using conspirative views, frequently conscious that their opinions are underrepresented in the public conflicts may result in professionalcons. When it comes to Trump, the dynamic is by the former head of state's sexive personality and background of addressing criticism directly. Hanks, meantime, stands in for the other on this equation's side, a reputable, prominent figure whose politics the remark is based on his liberal beliefs, and strengthened by his cultural standing. Tension is the outcome. There is less personal hostility involved between people rather than the more extensive fault lines that pass through politics and entertainment. Although there hasn't been any public conflict between Hanks and Trump, the situation of these exchanges, Trump's knowledge of Hanks' contemptuous comments, Hanks' liberal support, as well as the general Hollywood's ideological division etiquette, a relationship that is subtly tense regarding Hollywood, Tim Allen and other conservatives. This scenario emphasizes the fragile balance of managing relationships as well as ideological variations in a setting that is frequently quite politicized. Hanks is one of many people that support Trump, who stand in for the cultural resistance. Hayes often lamented, a reminder that, in Hollywood, individual and political domains are frequently intertwined. In 2004, the Hollywood industry and, for a moment, American media came together in an unanticipated location, a school fundraiser. Tom Hanks, the well-known performer and liberal Hollywood personality, and Bill O'Reilly, the political conservative opponent, renowned for using aggressive on the O'Reilly factor style, were participating at this event as parents of pupils. At the time, the event seemed toast-funded, an ordinary fundraising event with lectures, shows, and informal mixing with the parents. Not many could have anticipated that 1 second from that years later, the afternoon would return to generate a lot of conversation and dispute. The aforementioned incidents was discovered moment the fundraiser's video went. Years later, it became viral. In the video, Hanks could be observed having cordial excitation with a different parent at the caution evident who, in a startling and the offensive display, was wearing blackface. The situation's optics were abrupt and startling. This was Hanks, who is well regarded for his morality regarding support for social justice, seeming to interact freely with Apison, engaging in racial discrimination long denounced in America. Ridiculous. Although there isn't any proof that Hanks approved of the behavior, the image of he was chatting with a person. However, it turned into a lightning rod foreign line critique, posing queries regarding celebrity, context, and judgment responsibility. In the meanwhile, Bill O'Reilly, also visibly at in the fundraising event, participated in the video, but noticeably, aside from both Hanks and the black-faced man. In contrast, O'Reilly and Hanks didn't interact socially with the contentious individual. However, the narrative takes a humorous turn throughout the actual fundraising. While he was on stage, statements, Hanks seemed to make insulting mention of O'Reilly, suggesting in his distinctive manner and sarcastic manner in which the conservative with racial sympathies were present. The exact phrase used in Hanks' remark implied that he was offering criticism O'Reilly's social and political views, connecting the media personality to more charges frequently made against conservative pundits. The juxtaposition was instantly arresting to onlookers, as Hanks was openly always claimed racial discrimination being insensitive. He had been seen conversing with a man in blackface, a historically significant and racially insensitive impersonation. Numerous bystanders, including as O'Reilly thought, this was hypocritical. The event brought to light the public perception complexity, where the motivations of a celebrity, personal conversions and casual comments are re-examined and occasionally shown in a humorous illumination. O'Reilly, who never backs down avoid conflict or criticism, observed incongruity, emphasizing that it seemed ill-timed for Hanks to criticize him, considering the circumstances surrounding Hanks' out associations during the occasion. Despite the discomfort, and the last as the video became viral, the two malice confronted the matter head-on at some point later. Tom Hanks issued a public apology to O'Reilly for the comment, expressing gratitude that his remark had not been suitable, especially Considering the surroundings conditions, the apology from Hanks was received pure, who showed a certain amount of professionalism by acknowledging a ruse and miscommunications may happen, particularly in highly tense political and social environments. Still, the episode made a persistent hostility between them, despite other public incidents were escalated. The issue there is a definitorializing that attachment between two people or friendship never reached its full potential. What do you consider the individuals that Tom does Hanks detest? Please share your thoughts with us in the part that follows. We hope that you have discovered this useful video. Remember, please subscribe, like, and share the channel if it appeals to you. Many thanks for viewing, and I'll see you in the upcoming videos. Farewell.